there on the scene. Leticia, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you right now, a very active scene here at North Park Elementary School. North Park Elementary, located on North Park and H Street here in the city of San Bernardino. I want to point you just to the active scene. You have fire, you have an ambulance. There's a woman in the back of this ambulance who looks very distressed, I may add. But I want to point you to the children over here. As you can see that they're all being lined up, holding hands as they get loaded into buses. We're told that these buses will be headed to Cajon High School. That's the word I got from the San Bernardino Unified School District officials. Those children will be taken to Cajon High School, where they will be meeting with their parents, where they will be reunited. Now, I want to talk to this woman if she would talk to me. Ma'am, is it possible to talk to you about what you're doing here right now?
Sure. Yeah.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, just heard it on the news, so I came right over to see my child, and I'm scared to death.
Now, what grade is your child in?
She's in 4th grade.
So this has got to be very terrorizing for you.
It is very much.
What are you able to hear?
What's that?
Are you able to hear any news of her?
No, I can see her from here. That's why I waited here till I could see her.
Does she have a cell phone?
Yeah, she does, but it's not on apparently.
So what are you able to know, if anything? You said you were able to see her. What can you tell from your daughter's composure, how she's doing?
They look like they're all crying to me. Yeah, they look like they're all crying. They're all holding hands, and they look very scared.
Are you going to be headed over to the high school to pick her up?
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Cal State or Cajon, one of them.
How did you get word about what happened here?
I was watching the news. Yeah, and it just came on the news, so I ran right over.
Were you at work when this happened, or are you at home?
No, I was at home. Yep, at home watching TV.
So you live in the area then?
Yes,
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you can see your daughter over
Yes,
there. What do you want
yeah.
to do when you get a hold of her?
I want to hug her. This is so scary. I just want to hug her.
Thank you so much for talking to us, ma'am. As you can see, parents running here once the news broke that this shooting had happened here at North Park Elementary School. This is a kindergarten through 6th grade. So, her daughter does have a cell phone, but she says her daughter's cell phone's not on. But many children here most likely don't have cell phones. They're very young. The high school is just down the street, and as I mentioned, that's the word that San Bernardino County School District officials were telling me. Initially, they did say Cajon High School, then they called me right back and said, no, we're now sending them to Cajon High School for parents to pick them up. As you can see, there is a huge police presence. We can see officers, SWAT officers on the playground field over here holding, their weapons, but we're told that the shooter has been either down or neutralized. We're told this is a murder-suicide. 4 people preliminary involved. We're told that 2 of the victims that were airlifted were in fact students. We are still trying to gather more information on who the victim and the suspects are here. But as you can see right now, they're loading those children into those buses where they can then bus them off to a location where they can be reunited with their very frightened and frantic parents. People here gathering, trying to find out just some more information. I know for a friend of mine who just texted me, her sister is a special needs teacher. She goes to the different schools. She said right now she can't get a hold of her sister, and she's very frightened because she does want to know, in fact, if her sister was here today. She doesn't know. I think that's a situation for a lot of people, just the not knowing what's going on. They want to be able to see if their loved ones are here, if they're safe. So right now there's just a lot of uncertain information, and we're trying to gather it as fast as we can to bring you the very latest. But again, this all started around 10 o'clock. We're told that the shooter was able to access the campus, walk in. The shooting apparently happened inside a classroom, most likely in front of children. We're told 2 students had to be airlifted from the scene here and taken to a local hospital for treatment. Their injuries are unknown, but we do know that there is a murder-suicide possibly involving the victim and the shooter. And of course, as soon as we get more information, we'll bring you the very latest here from the scene. Back to you guys in studio.
Leticia, thank you. And one of the things Leticia is talking about, trying to sort out some information. Let's tell you this.
Right now, let's go back on the ground to Leticia Juarez. She's got more for us. Leticia, what do you have?
There was something going on, so I
Leticia?
Well, I'm with a parent here who is also very frantic, who came to the school, North Park, where her son is in the 6th grade. You mentioned 5th grade. And so this is Deborah Natera. You were at Sam's Club shopping when you heard the news. What happened?
my son's dad said that there was something going on, so I rushed up, and he's in 5th grade, and so I wanted just clarification of what happened, and they weren't releasing, so I called my daughter and my sister and friends, and they called the sheriff's department and said that there were 2 kids shot and I think a teacher.
And you weren't able to find out what classroom this all happened in?
No, not at all. We got a message from an online app that said that my son's class was safe, though.
And you were able to physically see your son?
No, someone that I know snuck through and saw him standing at the gate, so I haven't seen him yet. So I haven't talked to him yet.
We are now confirming that it was 2 adults in a murder-suicide.
Okay, and no children?
No children. 2 children were injured.
Okay. Okay. I feel better.
You were mentioning this is a safe school.
Yes, that's very safe. He's been here since kindergarten, and I mean, they're really on top of it, and it's all enclosed in one building, and so I always felt like it was safe, and this is just, I think, an isolated incident.
I mean, there was concerns about how the shooter was able to access the campus, but those are questions to be answered later. What are you, as a mother, wanting to know right now?
No, I don't know how he got in, because you, as a parent who's been here since kindergarten, you have to go through the front gate and then go through another door. So I don't know how he got through. They're really strict about it. So
What are you going to do when you see your son?
just grab him, because I was mad at him this morning because he left and didn't want to go to school. He said he didn't feel well, so I was kind of mad at him when I left. So I just want to hold him.
Ms. Nantera, thank you so much for talking with us. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So as you can see, a lot of parents still coming to the school. She says she has her daughter going to Cajon High School to pick up her son, who is in the 5th grade. She did get a message, as I'm assuming a lot of parents did, that their children are safe, that they are being transported onto these buses. We are now confirming that this was a murder-suicide between 2 adults. Also injured were 2 other students that had been airlifted. I'm going to send it back to you at the desk.
It's just, and now their children are involved. So certainly panic-stricken in this community. Let's go to Leticia Juarez down on the ground there. She has some new information for us. Leticia, what do you have?
We were all crying, His dad's stuck.
Well, definitely not only parents here, grandparents here. There's Marina Ramos here. She's waiting for word about her grandson. I'm just going to jump in here. Marina, what can you tell me? You're waiting for your grandson.
Yes, I'm waiting for my grandson, Ruben Ramos. We just talked to him. He's okay, but he's crying. He's scared. And we're just waiting for them to transport them to either Cal State or Cajon. They keep telling us Cal State, then they say Cajon. So we're all nervous. And, his dad's over there crying, and I was crying. We're all crying. It's just, look at how ugly it looks, how scary.
You said your grandson, you're in terms of talking to him, what is he saying?
He was crying. He said, I'm okay, Grandma. I'm okay, but he's crying. And,
This must be terrifying for not only you, but for him as well.
Yes, he was crying. I told him not to cry. Everything's going to be okay. They have all the cops here and everything, so we're all just waiting. And
Does he understand what happened, what took place on his campus?
I don't know, because I didn't really get a chance to talk to him because he was crying.
Now, does he have a cell phone, I'm gathering?
Yeah, he has a cell phone. And I called him on his cell phone just like about 10 minutes ago, because we were all worried, because we heard that a kid got airlifted, a teacher got airlifted. We heard a man was shot in the classroom. We're just hearing different things, so we don't really know. And then they said it was 5 kids that got hurt, so we don't know.
Well, I can tell you we're confirming 2 adults in a murder-suicide and 2 kids were airlifted to a local hospital.
I feel bad for the parents. I feel bad for look at all these little kids are scared, but I pray that the other ones make it. The kids, it's not their fault. It's scary. It really is.
You don't think of this happening on an elementary school campus?
I know, you don't, I would have never thought. I mean, typical morning and then chaos breaks out, Wow.
Do you guys live close to this area?
No, I live in Highland, and
so you rushed to the scene when you heard this happening?
We rushed to the scene, yes. Yes, we did. And I just thank God that I was able to talk to him and that he's okay.
Because there's a lot more parents that are probably not in contact with their children right now.
Yes, and it's a really scary thing.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramos. I'll let you get back to what you're doing. So as you can gather here, a lot of parents waiting for word from their children. Ms. Ramos here, his grandson does have a cell phone. They were able to communicate with him, but there's still a lot more children in there, especially the younger children, I gather, the 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds that don't have ability to contact their parents, and those parents just must be terrified in terms of how they're going to contact their children right now. But the latest I did get from the school district is that the children are being transferred to Cajon High School. The high school is maybe a block and a half to 2 blocks from this location. So I just kind of want to show you the scene here. You're taking a look at the school buses that are going to be busing those children. I can see just behind it that, yes, there are children behind those buses being loaded in, very terrorized, some crying, even teachers that I was able to see crying, trying to reassure these children until their parents can get a hold of them. As you can see, there is a big response here from the SWAT team here from the San Bernardino Police Department to the Sheriff's Department, major fire presence here as well. But in terms of the tone, there doesn't seem to be that urgent tone because they tell us that the murder-suicide, the shooter possibly neutralized in this. What we are seeing is just detectives going into the school, possibly to start their investigation. We can tell you right now that this involves 2 adults, 2 children were also airlifted in this murder-suicide that we're told that did take place in a classroom. We do not know what classroom that took place and if any children, besides the 2 students that were also involved, that were injured, if there were any more witnesses to this. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of counseling that's going to be needed for these children as they move forward, trying to tell them exactly this stuff happens and what they're going to have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you, try to gather some more information out here and bring you the latest as I get it.
Leticia, we can also give you a little bit more information on the connection between these school buses and what's going on.
All right, let's go on the ground once again to Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez, who knows the area well and has been talking to parents in the area. Leticia, what can you tell us?
I don't see.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm here with Mr. Hendren, who's looking for his 2nd grade daughter. There are parents I'm hearing that are screaming for their children's names on the buses. Now, sir, you have not seen your daughter yet.
No, I haven't seen my daughter yet.
What are you doing right now? I mean, this is just about the only point you can really see anything going on.
Yeah, I showed up. I came from work, and you know, I'm here. We can't cross the lines. There's SWAT team everywhere, and all I know is they're transporting the kids, you know, to Cal State, and also we're supposed to meet at Cajon High School, the parents. So
what are you right now? What are you trying to do right now as you're standing here?
I'm trying to look to see if my daughter's actually behind the fence and getting on a bus at this point. So it's just, I mean, I can't cross the SWAT line just like you guys can't, and I'm concerned about, you know, what happened at the elementary school today. So, and I'm worried about my daughter.
Yeah, and you say you're not getting much information, obviously, from the school because the phone lines are all tied up.
Right, the phone lines, it just rings. There's nobody, obviously, in the office right now, so.
What came to mind when you first heard the news?
I fell to my knees and started saying Our Fathers and Hail Marys, and, you know, and I hope my daughter, and I hope everybody else's, and I'm sorry for the victims for this. So it's chaos. You're just like, you wouldn't think it would happen, you know, in your school, and here I am, you know.
Yeah, you don't think of an elementary school. I actually went to Cajon High School down the street, and when I first heard it, I thought, was it Cajon High School they meant? Because North Park didn't seem like a possibility. It's an elementary school.
It's elementary, and that's what, you know, people, my wife said, no, it's probably at the high school. And I go, no, it's North Park Elementary, where, you know, my daughter just, like I said, started, it's her 2nd or 3rd week of school, actually.
Oh, wow. So she just started here.
Right, yeah.
So what are you going to do when you see her?
Oh, I'm gonna hug her. I'm gonna hug her, and I hope she's okay. I really do.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
I'll give you a little hug there. Some support. Good luck, sir. And there you have it. Just parents here, just frantically looking for any way that they can get a hold of their children. As you mentioned, a lot of these kids, kindergarten through 6th grade, they don't have cell phones. I'm imagining a 2nd grader is not likely to have one. They're just trying to peek through the fence here. If I can just show you through the fence here, you can see the children getting on the bus. Now, I just saw a parent that was just down the street who saw what appears to be her daughter shouting her name, Mariah, Mariah. And then running towards the bus, crossing the line. She didn't get very far because you can imagine, you can see the police presence that are keeping parents back because parents are just trying to get a look through that fence, however brief that they can, just to see if they see their children there. These children now have been standing out here for a good part of over an hour. Thankfully, it's not too terribly hot today, but there are parents who are lining the route, just trying to get a glimpse and see if they can see their child. Now, ma'am, did you see your daughter?
My granddaughter, yes.
I thought I saw you shouting her name, Mariah.
Yes.
And what did you see?
She came out of the school and she got onto the bus. And she was happy that we got to see her and she got to see us, and she told us to go over there where they were transporting them to.
Was that a moment of relief to see her?
Yes, it is. We're still waiting for my other granddaughter. She's here too. She's in 3rd grade. We don't know where she's at yet, but
So are you kind of talking with family, trying to coordinate how to get a hold of them?
yes, everybody's around different places to try to find out what's going on.
Got it. Where were you when you heard the news, and what'd you
I
do?
was at home. I was at home, and my daughter called me, told me that they had an active shooter here to get here because she was further out. And so we all got here. She started calling all of us. So all of us were different areas in the school.
I see there's a lot of family, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts and uncles, everyone kind of helping to get a hold of these children.
Yes. Yes.
Could you tell from your granddaughter's face, her demeanor, how she was doing?
Her voice sounded scared. She seemed worried and scared. You know, this is an ordeal for them. It's something that you don't see every day. You know, so it's not good for them. It's tragic for them. And then, you know, especially if they knew the teacher that got shot that they're saying, it's not good for them. You know, they're going to have to get some grief counseling or something like that. Yes.
Do you have, as a grandmother, what comes to mind for you?
Right now I have so many thoughts going through my mind. I'm just glad they're all safe, all the kids, and hopefully the other ones that they took to the hospital, that they're safe just as well. You know, it's just not a good situation for any kid to go through, anybody to go through.
Seems like San Bernardino's been through so much in these last few years, too. So.
Oh, yes. You know, this is, I mean, it's uncommon, but yet it's common because we see it so often in the news and on the newspapers for this area. So we just got to end the violence, you know, whatever the case may be. And, you know, when it comes to domestic violence, I heard it was a domestic violence situation. And I just think that that's something that needs to be, we need to put a stop to make some changes in regards to domestic violence for situations like this doesn't happen.
So are you going to be staying here until you get a hold of your second daughter,
We're
granddaughter?
hoping we see her come on the bus, get on the bus soon, and then we're going to head over there where my daughter's at.
And big family hug for your two.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. So you have it, family, it really is a family affair. I've spoken with grandfathers, grandmothers, aunts and uncles, all waiting here, and I want to turn you around. They're loading more children over here onto the bus. As you can see, some of the kids skipping, hopping, some of them don't seem to really be aware of what is going on. They just see a lot of activity out here. You can see that parents across the street lining the route, trying to see if they can get a glimpse of their child as they are looking for them before they head on to Cajon High School. The kids being bused to Cal State San Bernardino, where they'll be reunified with their parents. Right now the school is just trying to do this in a very orderly fashion. You see some of the teachers with their students there as they line them up and putting them onto buses. And you know, like I said, you have family here that is just waiting for any glimpse or word that their child is safe, and of course they want to just put their arms around them, hug them, and reassure them that everything is okay. That man who we just spoke to, his daughter just been at the school for the last 2 to 3 weeks, not very long, and then this to happen. And then you have a grandmother over here who is searching for her two granddaughters. Saw one of them was going to the bus just to see if that she could just get a glimpse of her and make sure that her granddaughter was okay. Still just a very heavy presence here as people try to figure out, you know, what is going on here. We do know that it was a murder-suicide in a classroom and that 2 students had to be airlifted. And right now we're just waiting to get more information on what unfolded inside of North Park Elementary School. Investigators inside just beginning to piece together what happened here this morning around 10 o'clock when the first reports of that shooting took place here. So I'm going to throw it back to you at the desk as we continue to talk to more people out here.
Okay,
Reporting live in
Leticia.
San Bernardino, Leticia Waters, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Leticia, thank you. And as